All right, hi folks. Wanted to follow up my plyometrics part one video with this video here, which is going to be a progression beyond the initial plyometrics that I discussed before, which um, were the box jumps, where you're jumping from one surface, one level up to a higher level, and the whole point of that was to allow for attenuation or absorption or reduction of the shock of force as your center of mass goes up and then it comes down a shorter distance when you land on a higher surface. So that was covered in part one. So the part two video, I wanted to talk to you about ways that you can perform the plyometrics where there's a little bit more load and there'll be a little bit more, potentially a little bit more power production and stress going through the musculoskeletal system. So the first way that that I would recommend somebody progress from the box jump, which is jumping forward and up, would be to do what's a squat. It's called a squat jump. So essentially, it's very simple. You drop down into a squat position, jump up in the air, and then when you land in the same squat position. So the takeoff and the landing are the same. And if this is the ground and here's your center of mass, the center of mass travels up and down the same distance. Okay, so you have to absorb that landing, those forces of landing, full amount of forces there in landing. So that would be a type of jump that would be considered from a shock standpoint, shock absorption standpoint, progression based on above the box jump that we talked about before. Now, beyond that, another way you can apply the squat jump is you can vary whether you do them one at a time and you remain on the ground and you focus on the landing, or whether you land on the ground and then immediately jump into another one, or do sequential jumps. So that would require more strength, more force production, more power production, and stronger and more robust tendons in order to do those type of jumps. So that would be something you do after doing squat jumps, where you just focus on the landing aspect of it initially. And then the next type of jumps that can use a box. However, this time what you would do is you would jump off the box to the ground. So here's an opportunity where you can start from a position higher than your center of mass starts from a position higher than you would get if you were just doing the vertical jump. So you can start a little bit higher up and you can focus on the landing aspect of that. So now you're decelerating over a greater distance and slightly greater amount of time. So that would be a progression above the squat jump, since you're taking your center of mass higher. And then from there, what you can do is and that's called a depth jump. What you can do there is the depth jump off the box to the ground and then immediately jump into another squat jump. So that would be connecting those two jumps. So all of those are ways to take the idea of jumping and force production, strength training, right? And sort of apply it into a more athletic type of a movement that will carry over well into sports. So those are a few. It's by no means an exhaustive discussion of plyometrics, but those are some of the most common options available to people that are fairly straightforward. You don't need much in the way of equipment for them. So I hope that makes sense. And again, if not, feel free to reach out to one of the trainers at the club and we can talk to you more about that. All right, thanks a lot.